And so it's kind of an emerging role that sits alongside ops typically. And there are folks that are probably some of the most like technically advanced go-to-market people out on the market right now. I think the thing that has made it really successful in the last 2 years or so has been the emergence of AI. And so much of go-to-market is kind of qualitative decision making. And what's happened is that within these flows or within these systems, you're able to allow and prompt models to make some of the decisions that were formerly made by people. So for example, a very basic one would be like an inbound SDR. You used to rely on people to qualify your leads coming in. Now that entire thing can be kind of fully automated. But still, once you do that, a GTM engineer needs to build it. They need to often maintain it, adjust it, iterate on it. And so that role has kind of become pretty critical to a lot of companies that are thinking about their go-to-market as a real system that can be engineered and designed.
Okay, so how come? So this is what right now is in the market, that GTM engineering pretty much equals like working with clay. So is this correct, or is this something which people are sort of like misrepresenting?
I think it's closely associated with clay, and I think clay has done a lot to kind of coin the term and popularize it. But I think it describes a more general set of tasks around automation and iteration. And clay as a product is kind of built for those two things. Our first customers were cold outbound agencies, which needed basically cheap access to data and the ability to rapidly launch new campaigns and experiments. And the fundamentals of clay remain oriented around those two things. And go-to-market engineering is a sort of, as a role, has a lot of those elements inside of it. That said, there are many other pieces of software on the market that I think someone could use, and you could create an entire go-to-market engineering stack that probably doesn't involve clay if you really try. I think the things that you need a place where you can experiment and rapidly try new things. You need an ability to acquire data. Go-to-market is based in many parts on having like really good access to data. And then pardon me. And then you need an ability to connect systems together and automate things. And so there are many kind of workflow automation tools out there. There are many different data providers. I think clay is probably the happy marriage of a lot of those elements, but it's something that is broader than clay. And I could imagine a go-to-market engineering stack that actually didn't involve clay.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the stack. So if let's just consider an early stage startups, and they are setting up their GTM engineering motion. So how would they think about building that stack? What are the basic infra components that needs to be there to make it work?
Yeah, you're going to need like a few things. One is you need a system of record. And so most people are going to look for a CRM for this, HubSpot or Salesforce. Some teams are starting to use data warehouses for this. Some enterprise teams actually do most of their data enrichment work in data warehouses, but you need a place to store the data. Clay is really not a place where you would store lots of data. Secondly, you need the ability to perform enrichments. And so you need the tools that allow you to take, for example, a domain and add the revenue and the funding and the type of business it is and all of that stuff. Third of all, you need a system that allows you to take action. So you need somewhere that you can send emails, send messages, send LinkedIn requests, where you can generate content and so forth. And then fourth of all, you need an analytics engine. So some place that is actually recording the activity that is happening. So recording sales calls, recording emails, making that available in kind of your system of record. So you need those four things in order to kind of build a go-to-market engineering practice. And then of course, there's lots of niche tools that you could layer on top of that, but those four would be kind of the main ones.